scientifically, time travel is possible. At least that's according to general theory of relativity coined by Albert Einstein. On January 27, 1995, American physicist Marouand Michelin observed the white dust that continued to spin over the Antarctic sky, and conduct research by launching a weather balloon equipped with wind speed measuring, temperature and atmospheric humidity gauges. When the balloon goes up quickly, then the balloon goes off somewhere, then the researchers outsmart the balloon rope. Then the balloon is pulled again and the result is dated January 27, 1965. Each time shows the time that spins 30 years ago. One day in August 1971, a former Soviet pilot was on a flight with the MiG-21 jet fighter, but he accidentally broke through ancient Egypt. At that moment, he saw a view of the pyramid building being built in the vast desert, a towering pyramid, while the other pyramid was newly lined with tower foundations. So is it true that the pilot has returned to ancient Egypt by passing another dimension? In 1986, an American pilot was on duty within State Route 71 surveillance plane over the city of Florida. But he allegedly broke through other dimensions, and he had entered Europe in the Middle Ages. The pilot had said, "As the plane began to cross the treetops, I felt the heat waves emitted from the huge fires, the pile of dead bodies that made me shudder. They were burning corpses." Experts say that what the pilot had witnessed was the atmosphere in which the Black Death epidemic was happening in Europe. An Italian civilian plane with a passenger 315 who flew in the eastern shores of Africa in 1994 suddenly disappeared from the radar screen in the control room. After 20 minutes later, the plane reappears. However, upon arrival at the airport, the passenger hours are each 20 minutes late. When a team of French archaeologists are doing scientific research on the Nile, at the time of digging the ruins, archaeologists found silver coins buried inside the ruins. But strangely, the coin is not an Egyptian coin but an American coin. Even more strange, the coin is not a relic of ancient America but the coins of today's Americans. The coin is worth 25 cents, has not been published and is still stored at the Treasury of the United States of America. Why the coins were found in the temple, scientists also feel confused. A silver coin of modern civilization that had never been circulated, buried at the base of the statue of the sun god. On July 2, 1999, more than 100 Christians in Colombia paid a courtesy call to the top of the mountain. Surprisingly, this group of people never descended again after arriving at the mountain, just disappeared. However, after nearly a month, hundreds of congregations were still not found. They disappeared and disappeared without trace. There was 1,848 years ago, an archaeological explorer found a number of strange images at the entrance of the ancient Egyptian Abydos temple. The images of ancient Egypt 3,000 years ago turned out to be a model of helicopters and submarines. In December 1915, during the war, in the battle between British and Turkish troops prepared to attack Turkish military facilities on the Gallipoli Peninsula. Suddenly, however, a haze of fog from the sky covered the entire mountain peak for more than 100 meters. Under a pink sunlight and dazzled the eyes, the commanders who saw with the binoculars from beneath the foot of the mountain were astonished at the sight. Moments later, after the fog soared up into the sky and marched northward, the new commanders were surprised to find that the British troops on the mountain had all disappeared. There is a mysterious little island called Nbetnet in northern Kenya. In the local indigenous language, Nbetnet means to go but cannot go back. A few years ago, this little island was once inhabited by humans. They catch fish, hunt, and exchange commodities with outer islands as their livelihood. However, one day, all the inhabitants of the island disappeared, and never reappeared. Some say the island is a gateway from the passage of time. In October 1943, the U.S. Navy in Philadelphia conducted a secret test in the form of a powerful artificial magnetic field. Not knowing what had happened to the Philadelphia experiment, for making a destroyer USS Eldridge warship disappear before people's eyes, and just reappeared a few minutes later. But the crew could no longer remember what just happened. Lately, a lot of crew who died mysteriously.